Welcome to Legend. Due to the fact that I have tried to cover this game 3 times and failed in the process, I decided to just do a recap of the start of the game, because where the series have failed has been after the two starter dungeon levels in Tre Hatwell. So I've done a short recap of that, and then we'll take it from there. I'm mainly doing this to allow people who have already seen the earlier parts to skip ahead, but also to do a quick rundown for those who may not know of this game and the plot and that kind of stuff. An ancient being has been dreaming some nasty dreams, and that causes waves of chaos to flow across Tracia, turning normal individuals into chaos monsters. And those chaos monsters are trying their utmost to beat the living daylights out of the good forces. The good forces, of course, are trying very hard to fight back, but they are slowly but surely getting overwhelmed. In response to their pleas and whatever they are, something, the gods apparently sends 4 heroes down to help them, because, the forces of good are obviously useless. The 4 heroes are the Berserker, the Troubadour, the Assassin, and the Rune Master, each having specific areas of expertise, and they are tasked with locating the source of chaos and stop it before Tracia is overwhelmed. This game is very unique because, yes, the type of game has likely been seen a million times, but bear in mind, of course, that this game is a game from 1991. And at that point, this kind of isometric viewpoint gameplay action thing had not been seen that many times, if at all. The true uniqueness is in the magic system, because it is a build your own spells kind of system. It has some limitations, but preciously few of them, and that is where the excitement from the playing perspective lies, in seeing just what bonkers spells you can actually manage to make. Beyond that, of course, you also have the usual excitement of finding loot and killing monsters and solving puzzles, of which there are quite a few in this particular title, and some of them are incredibly devious, and some of them are just plain old nasty. The dungeon part of the game, which is the meat of the game, is involving running through the dungeons, killing monsters, gathering loot, and solving puzzles. In this part, we have solved the first 2 dungeon levels, and then found the permit that we need to get in order to get an audience with the king, who, after we have had done such, spoken to him, he will give us the greater task we need to complete in order to give Chaos a darn good thrashing. More will be explained in the main series, and I'll just let it go from there. So, editing cut and switching to the main recording. After that short recap of what has been going on before, hello and welcome to Legend, and this will be part 1. The recap should explain why it's starting in a bit odd location, but it's mainly due to the fact that I've started this series 3 times and got to the same point before it's been abandoned, neglected, whatever. Various things going wrong. So, we have the permit that we need to give to the king. And we are level 3 with the Berserker and with the Assassin. They're both over 6,000 experience, which is what you need for level 3. You can see the Rune Master is a bit behind, and the Troubadour is significantly behind. The problem with this setup is the fact that you have your Berserker who can go Berserk, which is cool. But he will do an obscene amount of damage when he's going Berserk very, very quickly. And that unfortunately means that because you get 99.99% of experience from kills, that he's going to end up soaking most of the experience. The only way to prevent him from soaking experience is basically not letting him go berserk. But then you often find yourself in a position where your party is at risk, so you need to reactivate the berserk mode so he eats experience. It's one of those funky things, and that is why the Troubadour can definitely struggle, because the melee abilities of the Troubadour itself without having items to use is not exactly impressive. But I was saying we had to go to visit the king. Let's head out. We can pause, but I'm fairly sure we can't get information when we pause. No, we can't. We are here, we need to go to the king, but we also need to go over to this little town here. But before we do that, let's see, can we actually get to that? No, we can't. Maybe we can. I want to intercept this banner if I can. Because we have some items that makes it possible to do banner fights. Come on, please, intercept. I want to spend time doing this. Come on, please. Get in the way of that banner, please, come on. Chase the blinking banner, come on, you can do it. Banner fights are basically fights against an entire army. The hawk symbol is the easiest of the banner fights. So let's be silly, let's attack. And this has to be done very, very quickly. Berserk, yeah, you need to fight, I'd say. Come on. Fight. Fight in shadows, fight. And he's likely getting surrounded immediately, of course he is. Come on. I'll hit the exit point because that means running away. Which is not what I meant to do, but whatever. Everyone's rallied now, so can I prevent you from actually fighting? It's just dispelling my caster too heavy, dude. That's fine. That guy's immune to magic, which is not particularly good. He's just paralyzed our Mooncaster. That's fine. It's also fine now, of course, but not what I meant to do, but never mind. None of them are dead yet. Hasn't he got more of those? No, but he's got a missile damage he can use. That should do the trick. Oh. The scrolls I had been lucky enough to get was hero scrolls. And they allow non-berserker characters to go berserk, which is kind of cute. Don't tell me he's like a sulfur. Not too bad. The ability to go berserk obviously means that they're going to do like the barbarian or berserker. I will likely go on barbarian some more times. But haha, we got some items here. I thought there was something here. Items will never disappear, which is good because there's one specific item you can get later on where you definitely want to hold on to it. But some bracers. Cool. It's not what I was hoping for, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. They likely give an armor fight of some description. Um, Nothing. Of course, armor class. It dropped by 4, which is not such a bad thing. When you do a banner fight, why hasn't he got his ropes equipped? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, well, he's now naked but wearing braces, I suppose. Banner fights always involve a boss and his minion, and one or both of them will usually drop items, which is very, very useful, because items can be either used or sold. The problem with doing the banner fights is the fact that you just saw we spent half a day chasing the banner, which is spending time we don't have to spend. You destroy the evil army. After a short search, you recover your horses. Cool. Let's pause the game for a second here. The day-night cycle. The sun will go across the land and then the moon will go across the land. At night time, there will be new enemy banners spawning, which are the red ones, and then during the day, the friendly banners or good banners, whatever, will go around and try and either stop them or recapture places and things like that. For every single day that passes, the forces of good will lose some troops. It's unavoidable. And over time, that means that the keeps, which are the tower buildings here, will start getting depleted. And it is your task to keep an eye on these towers to make sure that they do not get down to lightly or barely defended, because then they need money that you need to donate to them in order to allow them to recruit troops. Obviously, that's not going to be cheap, is it? So, the less time you spend on the overland map, the better it is, because time passes quite fast when you're on the overland map. In dungeons, time barely passes. And that's why if you need to grind, which I find that you should be doing from time to time, you are much better off doing it in dungeons, even though you are less likely to actually get items that way. But you can just walk between two rooms continuously until enemies appears and then kill them and then loot them and rinse and repeat until you feel you've gained enough money and or experience to progress. But let us go to a smart horse, whatever it's called. Come on, please, today, sometime. Let's pull all the gold and see 6,801. Not too bad. Apothecary. Hedgehog venom is the healing thing. These reagents, they vary in prices. They have a minimum price and a maximum price, and they're going to be somewhere in between all of them, those prices even. But Ring of Bat will always be 3 gold, so let's buy a few hundred of those. It may sound excessive, but trust me, you will need them. Brimstone is 5 to 8 gold, so it's still relatively cheap. Let's buy 100 of those. Those are the main components for damaging spells. So, Artificer, Artificer, or whatever. And anything special here. The Golden Helm. That could be useful. You get that. If I still remember to, yeah. And now we run up to the king. We could check the blacksmith. I don't think it's got anything spiffy. Nah. So let's run up to the king and hand in the permit. See, you have the permit, or the required permit even. The required permit. You may visit king. Take this key and money and go to Fakrank. I bid you to destroy the evil residing deep within the old city. So we got 1,000 gold. Oh. And now we need to go to this little guy here. The Ancient. Here's where you buy runes for the Rune Castle, or Rune Master, even. But you can also identify items. Something like this. That's the forward rune, and that's the damage rune, so it's forward damage, which is something that's very, very useful for the troubadour, because that way he or she, you can play either gender, can sap anything he or she is fighting. Meaning, of course, that they are much more likely to get a kill, and therefore the experience for the kill. Thankfully, this guy doesn't charge for identifying stuff. You can always already see what it is. This is a regen, AoE regen. So if you use it, it will cause regen to be cast on that character and anything in 8 squares around it, which also applies to enemy creatures, because friendly fire, good and bad, is a thing in this game. Anyway, buying runes. You have various different runes that you can buy. These are director runes. Forward, surround, and continues, and then you have the effective runes or effect runes: dispel, speed, paralyze, anti-mage, swallow, make weapon, teleport, regeneration, disrupt, and vivify. Vivify restores life to any touched by death. Will you pay 20,000 gold? Nah, I can't be bothered. I don't really have the money right now. Make weapon. Make weapon. Equip a mighty weapon of mystic force. Will you pay? No, not yet. Make weapon is one of those spells that's very, very nice, but it's also a bit counterproductive for the gameplay, I think, because it makes a weapon. Surprise, surprise. And the weapons it makes for the individual characters, if you cast it on the assassin, he will get a dagger-like weapon, and the berserker will get a melee weapon and things like that. But those weapons are actually quite powerful. They are actually equivalent to some of the best weapons in the game, which means, of course, that in my opinion at least, it sort of detracts from the excitement of finding loot, because you can just summon those blades. The thing is, because they are a summoned item, if the character has been affected by the spell, they will lose their summoned weapon. So it is a bit of a trade-off. The thing is, in this game there will be creatures that can only be hit by the weapon that make weapon spawns. But what I want is paralyze. This rune will temporarily freeze life. 1500 gold, yes, we can take down. Spell could be very, very nice to have. Anti-mage. Gives immunity to most magic spells, will you pay 3000 gold? It's not critical because we have some items of it. Hang on a second, what about this spell? A negative force used to kill magic. Will you pay 2,000 gold? Yeah, let's do that. Anything else we would want? You could do some surround stuff and do some surround damage thing. I don't know. You know what, let's just leave it for now. We want to get all the runes eventually, but I mean something like Disrupt. A deadly blast of raw chaotic energy. Will you pay 15,000 gold? Nope. Let's keep some money at hand even. So let's exit and then let's head up to Fakang, which is all the way up here. I'm sure you can't go that way, but I mean, go ahead, try it. You know what, let's try this one again. This time I will save before we do anything, because I don't have the... I mean I don't have. That's a healing score. That's another hero score. You don't need that. Intriguing. You got any other healing hero scores? That is a... okay. That's a make weapon score. That is for damage score. That's a regen score. That's the bag of sulfur we got. When the runecaster uses those items, he will add them to his stock. So just equip. Cannot save. What a shame. You know what? Give it to her. Equip. And then we will try and fight again. See what happens. I'm an idiot, so attack. Berserker Rage. Bodies Melody, that's a regen tune. And attack 3. Hidden Shadows. Use that score. 4. Wow, you. Go there. Well done, mate. Good. Come on, please. You don't need to get yourself surrounded. Oops. Come on. 5. Okay. And he killed himself because there's friendly fire in this game, and yeah, you can do that. You can kill yourself because you target the wrong square and then you die. Got anything of use in here? Serpent potion, that might be a good idea. Are you in Berserker Rage? Why are you not in Berserker Rage? Because they've been spelled, that's why. The sun is silence. What the only thing you need now is the Benny Hill theme. So, 2 of our characters died. What a shame. Whatever will we do? Lack of ugly teeth. If I'm not mistaken, that's a dragon teeth even. And That is the reagent you need for the spell. So that's very, very convenient. Okay, let's see here. Um, Missile Blade. He can't use that himself. It is a sword type weapon. So, yeah, well, whatever. Let's pick up our offense, shall we? Of course, we now need to go to a temple to resurrect them, which is something that could be of some concern, you could argue, but run away. Come on. I need a temple. Holy temple. Come on, please. Resurrect. And they are resurrected. It doesn't cost a penny. It doesn't cost anything. Which is one reason I wasn't overly concerned about the fact that they needed to be resurrected. Apothecary, what are you selling? We have bad brimstone crystal, nightshade, phoenix claw. Let's trade that stuff to him. Let's see what he needs. Come on. Because you can click on this eye and it will tell you what the different components need. A damage healing of the spell. So how many? That's Dragon's Keys, by the way. We got a handful, not many. A bit unfortunate. Got anything else? No. Okay, we can safely ignore that. Modifier? Buy items. Heal potion, Moonwand. Let's just ignore that. Let's go back to where we needed to go. If those banners will assist at all. At least I got in the right way. As you can likely see on the date, it's very, very similar to what you would expect a name to be in for our naming of months, like January. January sounds a lot like January. By late February and early March, which is named something slightly different in this game, that is likely where the keeps are starting to suffer. And that's the amount of time you basically have to accumulate wealth so you can afford to give them money. It's just... yeah, well, apparently. We stand at the entrance to the city. Enter city. You place the only key in the lock and it breaks into golden shards, opening the enormous gate. We are now at Fagrank, and the way I will be going through the dungeons is very, very systematic, because certain keys open certain doors and you need to get the keys to open the doors, obviously. And the way the setup works is it's trying to be as efficient as it possibly can be. There's going to be a lot of backtracking, because you go from one end of the dungeon to the other in order to activate switches and use keys and things like that. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to edit out any unnecessary for the viewer to watch stuff. I know I've said in several videos that I would rather have the content creators leave stuff like that in, so I can decide to skip it myself. But I mean, if you have to watch me go through 2 minutes of dungeon holes where I may get a random encounter from time to time, that's probably not going to be particularly exciting. So I will allow myself to make that decision about cutting those backtracking bits out, unless of course something exciting drops or something. But that will have to be for next time. So as for now, thanks for watching, take care, and see you then. Bye bye.